This is Christian Pulisic on Gio Reyna's return to camp. Let's see what he had to say.
One of the people we haven't spoken about is Gio Reyna, who is called up for the November window, which is great for him. He is, I think it's fair to say, gone through a tough time in football lately. Do you have any conversations with him? Can you share kind of his state of mind or what advice you may have given him?
Yeah, I mean, we don't talk a bunch, but we've had a good relationship, and I think he has had a really tough time, and kind of unfairly in a lot of ways. I feel for him. It's not difficult what we go through. Some of the injuries also he's dealt with. It's really hard. And with the national team now, also seeing him on the roster, I think it's really exciting for him. I will say, when I have him on the field with me on the national team, I always feel a lot more relaxed. I feel like he's a really, really good player. And I think that's not a crazy take. I think a lot of people see that.
Yes.
So I just tell him to stay patient. I mean, he's a guy.
Just too much of a spotlight.
Yeah. I mean, he's a guy that's gone through a bit of a tough time. He'll admit that, but that doesn't mean that that he can't, he can have really good things ahead. And people put pressure because, and I get that too, because he had such a crazy start to his career where he was doing unbelievable things at 17 years old. And then you expect
Which is the same thing you talked about,
right?
Yeah.
Then all of a sudden, you go to the national team and people are like, you need to be that guy. You need to perform for us right away. And it's like, it's not that easy. There's a lot of factors and things that he has to work out. And I do think it's been unfair. But I think he's gonna come around and people are gonna see that soon.
All right, that's Christian Pulisic. Now, before we get into his thoughts, Mauricio Pochettino also added that, and he said this to Fox Sports, Mauricio Pochettino, we're going to make very clear in Reyna's case that the past is in the past. Now we give the opportunity to this guy to show that he's more mature and that he'll behave in the way that we expect and then perform. Also, Gio Reyna's birthday today. Happy birthday to Gio.
Happy birthday.
Happy birthday, Gio.
I'll come to you first on this, Chuck.
Yeah.
Nice to see that, Christian. Meeting him empathetically, right? Like, hey, I understand he went through a tough time. I've gone through some tough times too. He's working through it. When we see him at his best, he can obviously be an asset. I'm paraphrasing here. We just heard it, but it's nice to see him kind of have Gio's back in this sense.
I'll pose this question to you both, actually. If you are the leader of this group, how else would you answer that question, right? I think, if anything, we're seeing a mature leader in Christian Pulisic and hearing how he could relate to Gio Reyna in a lot of ways, showing empathy because he has had a difficult situation. But for me, he just showed, okay, one, they're not close in the way that he they don't talk often, right? So put that aside. They're not tight. But I think what Christian Pulisic did really well is he kind of took it off everyone's plate in terms of how they view Gio Reyna. If he's a negative to the team, that's not the question. The question is, can he stay healthy and can he contribute? Because we all would want him to. And I also think when he's talking about when I'm playing on the pitch with Gio Reyna and I have this kind of comfort, it's because Gio Reyna is good on the ball. He can take that load off of Christian Pulisic having to get on the ball and create and dribble and keep the ball. Because when Gio Reyna's on the ball, he buys more time for everyone else because he's that good on the ball. But again, it hasn't been consistent. So for me, Christian Pulisic has shown great leadership in the way that he was able to talk about Gio Reyna's situation in a positive manner.
All right. And Tones, I mean, just to kind of dig in a little bit more, for Christian to say, I feel a lot more relaxed when Gio's on the field, feels like a pretty big endorsement of what he's capable of. And I ultimately agree with you, Chuck, that when because he can make that final pass, that means that Christian and others can make runs with more intention or because knowing that that ball can be delivered consistently. Now, of course, we're still asking or I guess the best way to say it, we're visualizing Gio at his peak, right? Playing to the highest of his potential, which he hasn't shown recently. And I think that's where Mauricio Pochettino comes in and says, well, let's see what he's about. Well, this is pretty much last chance saloon. And we
but Jimmy, how can we talk about his peak, when realistically he's at Mönchengladbach. He's not at Dortmund anymore. He's at Mönchengladbach.
And he's not starting there.
And he went to Nottingham Forest, and that was a disaster. Currently, he's got to build his fitness back up. We're not even talking about Gio Reyna playing 90 minutes every match, and then we're saying, hey, he's shown spurts here. It's been inconsistent. He isn't at the level yet to play full matches as a midfielder in his position. That's typically where you have to go 90 minutes. We're not talking about a substitution or a substitute. This is somebody who's got to be 90-minute ready when you're playing in that role that he'll be responsible for. So I think when we talk about first and foremost, let's talk about health. And then we can talk about consistency with playing time and consistency with creativity and the end product.
So would you even start him in these 2 games? Let's just kind of speak. We'll get into lineups in a little bit, but would you even start him in these 2 games knowing that he's not match fit to do it? I mean, that's not really on the national team to get someone fit for their club.
No, it is. So in the past, Jimmy, we've seen guys who aren't getting significant minutes with their club get significant minutes with the national team to build up their match fitness, right? We've seen that in the past. It wouldn't be a first time thing. But what I would say is where realistically we could see Gio Reyna have an impact for next summer, given where he is now, is coming off the bench and giving you something, right? Especially, let's say you're down a goal, a team is sitting back, you need that creativity.
Right.
That's something where he could come in and be an added bonus for the U.S. men's national team. Let's say you're playing against a team that is defending from the very beginning. They're not as fluid and they're not as attack minded as we would want, and they're not giving us space. You need Gio Reyna to break down a team coming in for the last 30. That makes sense.
Yeah,
I don't even think he's able to play for let's say 75 minutes for the U.S. men's national team at the moment. So if there was a game he would start, I would expect him to start in the second game of this two match window versus the first.
Well, what's interesting is the last time he played 90 minutes is against Uruguay in the Copa America last summer. So the last time he's played an official 90 minutes, Gio Reyna, was July 2nd, 2024. That is a long time ago.
Where do you see him starting?
I don't see him starting. I don't see him starting in either game. Like if I'm going to bring Gio Reyna and I'm forecasting as Mauricio Pochettino, I'm not probably starting this guy. I don't know what's going to change over the next 6 months. If he can't break into a Borussia Mönchengladbach team now, maybe he does. I'm hopeful that he does. They'll make it, these are good problems to have as a coach where you have multiple options. But I agree with you. I think he's going to be situational. Maybe if we have an opponent, maybe we run into a Cape Verde or in one of the smaller nations that are making the World Cup for the first time. They're going to put everybody back behind the ball. And you're like, okay, Gio makes a lot of sense against this particular opponent. But ultimately, I see him as a super sub coming on and solving problems for specific situations. And they need to evaluate his attitude. Can he manage that? Is that somebody that you can trust and is not going to disrupt the group like we obviously have experience with before in the 2022 World Cup?
I do want to add this because it's a great question. The YouTube comments from Mark Morante. How would Gio Reyna fit in this new formation? It's actually a dream come true.
Yeah, I agree.
For Gio Reyna. You're playing with double 10s. We saw early on with Berhalter when Gio Reyna was playing, he was playing in that wide wing position, a winger coming inside, but you're starting out wide. And then sometimes in that position, you got to get down the line. You got to use your pace. That's not Gio Reyna's strength.
Yeah.
Playing in the space is not what Gio Reyna wants to do at all. Gio Reyna wants to get the ball to his feet. He wants to be central. He wants to play between the lines. So when you're playing with 2 10s, not only is he central, but he has options. Both the two guys, the one that's playing alongside him, which would be Christian Pulisic, the striker, which would most likely be Balogun, and then you're talking about 2 outside wing backs in Anthony Robinson, in Serginho Dest, and Timothy Weah, whoever they are. But that's a match made in heaven for Gio Reyna when we're talking about this new formation. So it would be fantastic if we could see him, look match fit, look confident, and get the minutes needed to kind of boost his stock in this camp. I think that's first and foremost for Gio Reyna. He wants to come in and say, how can I guarantee myself to get another look? And I mean, the writing's right there. The proof is in the pudding for Mauricio Pochettino. He said, I want to see his attitude. Forget about the past. He's not even talking about his quality on the pitch. Everything that he mentioned there is off the pitch.
Right.
So I think that's got to be his main focus is, hey, let me show I want to be here. I'm going to do whatever it takes. I'm going to be first to every meeting, first on the training pitch, be super complimentary and positive, and work my butt off. Then kind of let the rest take care of itself.
Look at you getting to the end of the video. All right. Very proud of you. Now, if you want more average to good content, this is your channel. Go look at other videos, playlists. We have it all figured out. For more of the good stuff, then you got to make sure you hit like on this video, hit subscribe so you don't miss anything, and then turn on your notifications so you know when we're going live or if anything drops right when it comes out. We'd really appreciate it. See you next time.